Click on the subscribe button, especially the bell on the right side. Otherwise, you will miss the latest videos.
So, what is a Graha Friction Chart? Okay, it is a specialized chart manually drawn to place all the 108 padas in one chart. So, each Rashi contains 9 padas, correct? So, 12 times 9 will be 108 padas, which we already saw in the initial slides. Now, this is the pada chart. That means each Rashi is considered, each Rashi is divided into 9 parts like this. So that means this first box will contain the first pada in that Rashi. The second box will contain the second pada in that particular Rashi. So same way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This order should be maintained. Okay, that means the first 3 row, the first row will contain the first 3 nakshatrapadas. The second row will contain the second 3 nakshatrapadas, and the third row will contain the the last 3 padas in each Rashi. Okay, so this is the South Indian style Graha Friction Chart, which shows all the 108 padas in one chart. Okay, now this is a blank chart. Okay, we will need to fill in the planetary positions. Okay, and this is the North Indian style Graha Friction Chart. Okay, now we talk about house signification padas. That means each Rashi has 9 padas, right? Not all the 9 padas will signify the characteristics of each house. Okay, some padas will have higher influence and some padas will not even influence the house. Okay, so now we are going to talk about one such pada. Okay, there are 2 or 3 different padas, but in this presentation we'll only take the main one pada that influences the house with higher capacity. Traditional method, okay, of completing this chart will be taught in the course. Okay, which is the complete method. Okay, will be taught in the course. But today we are going to use an alternative method, which is an incomplete method. Okay, that will be discussed in this presentation, because that is to give you a taste of what this Graha Friction Chart is. Okay, first you need to locate the nakshatrapada where your lagna is placed. Here I am taking an example of lagna that is placed in 26 degree Virgo 38 minutes, which is the Chitra Nakshatra first pada. Okay, now you need to locate the number of this pada inside the Rashi. Okay, in other words, we see Chitra Nakshatra is the 8th pada in Virgo sign, correct? So you need to locate the same number of padas in each sign, the 8th pada in each sign. Okay, so locating 8th pada in Virgo, 8th pada in Libra, 8th pada in Scorpio, and so on. Okay, so this padas, okay, these padas will influence the respective houses more than any other padas. Okay, so that means in the Virgo sign, Lagna will be influenced by the 8th pada in Virgo. The second house of the native will be influenced by the 8th pada in Libra, which will be Vishaka. Correct? Same way, the 8th pada in Scorpio influences the 3rd house, which is the Jeshta Nakshatra, 3rd pada. Okay, so this pada and the planets placed in that pada gives a lot about the quality of that specific house. Though other padas could also influence, but they are less powerful in defining the respective houses. Even if you are using Bhavachali chart, okay, this technique will hold good because we are only using that specific padas. Why did I mention about the Bhavachali chart? Because there are two different Bhavachali chart concepts. Okay, one we take the the degree, okay, as the starting point of the house. The other Bhavachali chart takes as the Bhava Madhya point. Correct? But either way, this will hold good because we are only focusing on a microscopic level on that one single pada. So that pada, okay, will be highly influential. Now, let us see with the example of Ramana Maharishi's chart. Okay, his Lagna falls in Chitra Nakshatra first pada because it is Virgo sign 26 degree 38 minutes, which is Chitra Nakshatra first pada. Now, in this pada chart, in this Graha Friction Chart, we are going to use the first house here because in Virgo sign, this is Kritiga second pada. Sorry, not Kritika, Uttar Palguni second pada, Uttar Palguni third pada, Uttar Palguni fourth pada, Hasta first pada, Hasta second pada, Hasta third pada, Hasta fourth pada, and Chitra first pada comes here because this is the eighth pada in the Virgo sign. Okay, now this same pada, okay, we are going to choose here as the second house. Okay, now third house, fourth house, fifth house, sixth house. Okay, these are the padas that will define this each house or gives the characteristics more influence on the characteristics of these house. Okay, now this is the North Indian style chart with the house padas. In the D9 chart, okay, now I'm going to show you how to fill in the details, okay, into the pada chart. Locate the kendras in the D9 chart, which is first house, fourth house, seventh house, and 10th house. The planets in the kendras on the D9 has more say when determining the house signification padas in the Graha Friction Chart. So if the kendras, okay, if the first house, second, fourth house, seventh house, 10th house, right? So that means in D9 chart, the kendras is constituting the first house, fifth house, and 9th house, which is the Dharma Pada in the Pada chart. Okay, so that means if you have planets in first house in D9 chart, that means that same planets will affect your first house, fifth house, and 9th house in the D1 chart. Okay. Same way, if it is 10th house in the D9 chart, that planets will affect your second house, 6th house, and 10th house in the D1 chart. So that is the Arthatirkon Padas. Okay. Same way, if it is the 7th house in D, if you have planets in 7th house in D9 chart, that means that planet will affect your 3rd house, 7th house, and 11th house in the D1 chart. Okay. So this might seem confusing now. Okay. But when you are working in the chart, it will be easy for you to understand. Okay. Now we are going to position these planets in the respective house padas in the Graha Friction Chart. For example, if D9 Lagna has Sun, okay, like the way in Ramana Maharishi's chart, he has Sun in D9 Lagna. Okay, that means this Sun, okay, will play a major role in his 1st house, 5th house, and 9th house signified padas. Same way, if D9 10th house has Ketu, then 2nd house, 6th house, and 10th house in this D1 chart will be influenced by Ketu. Okay, let us see his chart. Okay, so this is the 1st house. So he has D9 Sun, right? Lagna and Sun and Lagna is conjunct here. So that means his 1st house, okay, will have Sun. His 5th house will have Sun. His 9th house will have Sun. Okay. Same way, now you will be going backwards here. 1st house, 10th house, 7th house, 4th house. Okay. So when you are filling the chart, okay, this is an alternative method, right? So this might seem confusing, but in the traditional method that we'll be talking in the we'll be teaching in the course will be, I'll show you how to fill in the charts, okay, in an easy way. Okay, so we already covered the Dharma Tirukon, which is 159 will have the influence of Sun. Same way, now we go to the Arthatirkon, which is 2, 6, and 10. Okay, that will have Ketu here. See, 2nd house has Ketu, 6th house has Ketu, and 10th house has Ketu. Okay, same way, when you're coming to the 7th house, okay, that is the Kamatrikon, which is 3, 7, 11, will have Jupiter influence. So 3rd house is Jupiter, 7th house has Jupiter, and 11th house also has Jupiter. Same way, the Mokshatrikon, which is 4, 8, and 12, okay, will have Rahu's influence, which is, see, 1st house is here. So 4th house has Rahu, 8th house has Rahu, and 12th house has Rahu. Okay. So here in his chart, his natal placement, this box shows the natal placement. Okay. So he has the natal placement of Rahu and Ketu, which decides more or which influences more on his houses. So his 4th house is influenced by Rahu and 10th house is influenced by Ketu, because they are the natal placement. So it is very, very significant here. But the other planets, Sun or the natal Sun is not placed here, okay, or here or here. Same way, the natal Jupiter is not placed here, okay. So that is the reason there is no boxes on top of that. Okay, this black box shows the natal placement. So see, that is the reason he's been moved out of his house. Okay, and he went to the Arunachala at the very young age of 17 years. So this is the effect of Rahu in the 4th house. Okay. Same way, he has a karma that he needs to go into spirituality, because 10th house is influenced by Ketu. Okay. So this is how you will be filling in the chart. And this is the Ramana Maharishi's North Indian style chart with the placement. Why I am not using for other charts is because sometimes if there are many conjunctions, it is very hard to place in here, which we will be teaching, which I'll be showing you in the classes that we how to fix it. Okay. Now this is the chart of A.R. Rahman. Okay. His Lagna is in his Lagna is in Sagittarius Lagna, Mula Nakshatra, 4th Pada. Okay. So this is the D9 chart. Okay. Don't see 7 degree 43 Cancer sign will be Pushya. So this is the Navamsa chart. But this outside chart is the D1 chart. So his natal Lagna is in Mula Nakshatra, 4th Pada. Okay. So this pada, okay, on all the signs is being calculated now. Okay. And we are filling those planets with the Navamsa chart. See here in Navamsa, he has Saturn and Mars, which is conjunct in the Navamsa. So, first house Mars Saturn, 5th house is Mars Saturn, 9th house is Mars and Saturn. Okay. And second house will be, second house will be influenced by moon, because we need to go backwards, right? So the 10th, 2, 6 and 10 will be governed by moon. So second house is moon, 6th house is moon, and 10th house is moon. Okay. And there are no planets in the 7th house. So there is no effect of planets on this 3rd house, 7th house and 11th house. So that means, are we saying that there is no planetary influence on these houses? No. We will be working on the natal placements. If there are any planets, natal placements in that Rashi, then that will take the precedence. Okay. So here in the 4th house, we have Sun. So the Moksha Trikon, which is 4, 8 and 12, will be influenced by Sun. Okay. So 4th house, 8th house and 12th house here. And based on these planetary conjunctions, we can even predict the life of the family members. Okay. Which can be shown on, which can be taught in the course.